to tell you, I'm so excited that you're here. I really am. Thank you for coming. It's great to have you here. You were born here in Brooklyn?
Born right here in Brooklyn.
Grew up here? You live where? What part of the city of the borough did you live in?
I lived in Bushwick.
In Bushwick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right on Linden Street between Bushwick and Broadway.
What'd you like to do when you were a kid growing up here? I think you moved to Long Island when you were 11, right?
10.
10 years old? Okay. What would you do? What were your activities? What were you into?
Out here?
Yeah.
Just the basic stuff. You know, back then we used to play in the street and play skelly and, you know, and hot peas and butter. Do they still play hot peas and butter? Did y'all play hot peas?
No, we didn't play hot peas. What is hot peas and butter?
That's when you would take like a belt and you would like hide it somewhere and everybody would try to look for it. And when they get closer, you go, ooh, you getting hot, you getting hot. And then when they find it, there's hot peas and butter and they could whip you on the...
Now I know why we didn't play it, yeah.
Very, very violent street game.
So if you found the belt, you would get whipped with it?
No, everybody has to run back to the base and anyone that you caught, you could beat them with the belt.
Yeah, now that would be on the news if you did something like that. And would you go like to Carvel or Nathan's or?
I went to Carvel's when we moved out to Long Island. Out here, we didn't go to Carvel's.
No Carvel?
We've been to Nathan's and Coney Island.
Would you go on the rides at Coney Island?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really, yeah.
They had the hellhole back then. Back then, when you stand and they would spin in a circle and you press you to the wall. Then afterwards, you throw up.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's why they call it the hellhole.
They sell more hot dogs that way, I think. Would you get in fights when you were a kid here in Brooklyn? Was there a lot of fighting on your block? Because on my block, there was nonstop fighting all the time.
Yeah, we got into fights.
Yeah.
And if you lived in Brooklyn, you've been jumped before, too. We got jumped. Me and Charlie got jumped, and back in the 60s, the early 70s, they had these Kango hats, these beaver hats, and you would, back then you would take baby oil and put it on your hat, and you would just sit on it and just keep smoothing your hat out. And it was cool. And me and Charlie, I had a blue one, Charlie had a green one, and they jumped us on the bus stop, and they stomped our beavers. They were so jealous, they beat us up and stomped them.
Isn't that a weird thing they would do? They wouldn't even steal stuff. On my block, they'd steal your sneakers, and then they'd tie the laces together, and they'd throw them up onto the power. Yeah, and then you'd have to walk by your own shoes all the time. It's especially humiliating. I didn't know this about you, and this delights me to no end. When did you start doing ventriloquism?
That was actually the first thing I asked my mother for when I was about 8 years old. I asked for a ventriloquist dummy.
Was it Charlie McCarthy dummy?
No, it was a dummy called Willie Talk.
Willie Talk?
Yes, Willie Talk. And
Okay.
And his eyes didn't move, though. He was just looking straight out.
And you would do who? Like friends and stuff like that?
I would try to, make my, talk and not move my lips.
And could you do that, talk without moving your lips?
I was pretty good.
You were?
Not good enough to, to follow it. But
Yeah, right. Probably a good idea that you didn't follow it. But do you do that anymore? Do you entertain your children with this sort of stuff?
I have 2 ventriloquist dummies now.
You do?
Yes. But there are people that I know, like I have a couple of friends that are characters, and if I could do like their voice, like I have a singer named Val Young, used to sing with Rick James, I could do like her voice. So I had a ventriloquist dummy made. It looks just like her, so and we'll go on a trip sometime. I pull the dummy out, she'll be talking, and I'll be doing it.
Does Val?
It's very, very funny.
Does Val like the dummy?
She loves it.
She loves it.
She doesn't call it a dummy, though. She'll go bring out the Val doll. It's like, it's not a doll. It's a ventriloquist dummy. Where's the Val doll?
Who's the other dummy in your life?
Paul Mooney. I have a Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
I have a little Paul Mooney ventriloquist, so I'll do him while he's there, and I do the dummy talking. If you're part of the little circle, it's very funny.
You will get, yeah. What was Paul's reaction when you produced the dummy for the first time?
Oh, he said, "Oh, you're crazy. You have lost your mind."
Earlier this year, I was at a party at your house, and thank you for, I don't know if you invited me or not, but I came. I I was very excited to be there, and embarrassingly, I was the first one to show up.
No, you weren't. There was other people there.
I was the first one, yeah. The people who were there like kind of hanging out with you to start with. And I walked in, and you and Arsenio were watching YouTube videos. And I was just like, oh my God, this is just what I prayed it would be like. And there were quite a few comedians there. Chris Rock was there, Dave Chappelle was there, Jamie Foxx was there. Sacha Baron Cohen was there. And are you aware of how like giddy we were to be in your house?
Well, it was a party. I didn't know they were just giddy for...
Yeah, no, we were giddy to be in your house. And we had conversations about it. And it's funny to be with like Chris Rock, who, is, this unbelievable, or Dave Chappelle, these guys who are like, oh my God, I can't believe we're in Eddie Murphy's house.
They've been in my house before.
He still can't believe it. So you, I guess, yeah. And one of the things that we're all excited about is this idea that you are planning to return to stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Which is a little bit like hearing Michael Jordan's going to play basketball again, but without the physical element there. And I mean, because, you really, I'm sure you're aware of how much you mean to everyone, especially of a certain age group that I happen to be on one end of. Are you worried that you cannot live up to this thing you created?
No, I don't be worrying about stuff like that. Like, I tend to think constructively when I'm thinking about something creative. If I'm doing something creative, I'm thinking about how making it as funny as possible, because I want to shut down when I do it. But I don't be thinking like, oh, what's gonna happen? What are they gonna say? And are they gonna put me on the YouTube? Or are they gonna? That's just part of the world now.
Are you the kind of person who will walk out in front of an audience and spot one woman who's not laughing? And then...
Who's not laughing?
Her name is Anne. She's laughing now, but I got nothing from her before.
Where is she?
She's right there. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna see a clip from Eddie's great new movie, Dolemite Is My Name. Eddie Murphy, everybody. We'll be right back.
Action. Hold it, Dolomite.
What do you want?
FBI.
What do you want, man? Where's your warrant at?
This badge is my warrant. Open up the trunk.
It ain't mine. I don't know how I got in.
You're going to jail for a long time.
You gonna have to take me.
Cut.
That is Eddie Murphy and Wesley Snipes in Dolomite Is My Name. It is on Netflix now. It is in movie theaters too. Oh, what a funny... Well, explain to the white people who don't know who Dolomite is.
Dolomite is this character that a comedian named Rudy Ray Moore came up with. And Rudy Ray Moore is a comedian from the 70s, like this underground comic, and that I was just been a fan of for years.
You loved him. You and your brother used to watch
Not just, he has like a little cult following of people that like him. His movies started out, they were kind of like stoner pictures. Like people would, you smoke weed and watch his movies and be like, hey, look, you can see the microphone come in the shot. So that's why people started watching them early on. Then it kind of developed into, when I started making movies, I had a whole different appreciation for him. I was like, yo, this guy, he financed these movies himself, and he kind of put it all together himself, and he did his records the same way, and he became like one of my heroes.
It is an inspirational story.
He's a total inspirational figure.
This is a guy who's determined to be successful, and he tried as a musician and as a dancer, and then he just found his thing, playing this character, Dolomite, and really did. He risked everything.
Everything.
And you've been trying to make this for a long time, right?
Yeah,
How
I met
long?
about 15 years ago. I approached him about it. He was like, man, let's go on tour together. He said, they want to see us on stage, man.
Why do you think he wasn't interested in you playing him?
I think the idea of a movie about him just sounded ridiculous to him. It was like,
How could things sound ridiculous to him?
but the idea was, come, so we're gonna make a Hollywood movie about how you how you made Dolomite and all that. To him, at the moment, that sounded like, that's not something that's gonna happen.
Wow, really?
Let's
Even
go
with
on.
you?
No, it was, back, I think I might have just been coming off a movie like Pluto Nash, too. He was like, man, they ain't making no movie like that. Let's go on tour together.
you got stiffed by Dolomite. Well, yeah, because the movie, I went and watched the original, and that scene is almost identical to the scene in the real
It's
movie.
a bunch of stuff. We went to the same locations, and we have the exact outfits and the cars, and it's just Craig Brewer, who directed it, just really did a spot.
It's really, really good. And Wesley Snipes is great in it, too. He is so funny in this movie. Now, you're a mysterious man. You're aware of that, right? Because you...
Am I mysterious?
Yes, you are mysterious. You are. So I want to run through a few random questions, if you'd be so kind as to solve these mysteries for us. You turned down the chance to be part of We Are the World in the We Are the World video. Is that true?
Well, I ain't turn it down. I was doing something else, and I was in Stevie Wonder's studio, and I was working on some music, and he was like, "Hey, come over. We're doing this thing, and I was like, "Hey, man, I'm recording the song Party All the Time." So I was doing some other. Then they called. Then I realized afterwards what it was, and I felt like an idiot.
Right before you got
Because they
SNL.
did this real heavy song, and We Are the World, and,
Yeah.
and my song, Party All the Time. Shake your ass, shake it.
You were fired from a job at McDonald's, true?
No, I quit the job.
You quit the job at McDonald's.
I was fired from Chandler's Shoes.
Chandler Shoes.
Yes, I had.
Is this right before SNL?
Oh yeah, right before SNL.
Yeah.
The year before.
And you're going to be returning to host SNL for the first time in how many years?
35 years.
First time in 35 years. That's going to be something great, huh?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Have you started thinking it? Will you do any of your classic characters?
I hope so. Yeah, I would imagine I'd do some of that stuff. Yeah, but that show you can't really prepare. You can't prepare. It happens on the Monday and it's over on Saturday. You can't really get ready.
But Gumby is timeless, really.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do Gumby. And I'm trying to figure out some reason to do Velvet Jones.
Oh, yes.
Velvet Jones. And Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood, one of those.
Oh, my God. Well, there's certainly been a resurgence of Mr. Rogers in the recent years, so I don't see why you couldn't do something like that. Do you,
And a funny buckwheat sketch.
are you aware, do you read the reviews of your movies?
No, I don't
You do
read
not?
them.
Well, you should on this one, because it's like 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people are saying you might win an Oscar for this role.
Oh, that's
So that's good.
That's good.
Well, I have to say, it is so exciting to have you here, especially here in Brooklyn, and I really appreciate it. And I think I speak on behalf of everyone that we are thrilled that you are back and making movies and doing stand-up comedy and giving us your all, really. That's all we want is everything. Eddie Murphy, everybody. Dolomite Is My Name. It's in theaters and on Netflix. We'll be right back from Brooklyn. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel, and I am not allowed to eat this cookie until you click the subscribe button, so please click now. I'm hungry.